What's up, guys? It is I, once again, Yusuf Al-Sanad. And guys, I just got done watching the Raid Berandal, which is the second film in the Raid series. And wow, this was an epic conclusion to the Raid series and the end to Rama's journey and the war he's been fighting. And guys, I reviewed the Raid Redemption. You guys can watch that review. The link for that is down below in the description box. Now, the Raid Berandal takes place in the aftermath of the Raid Redemption, where Andy, Rama's brother, is captured and is killed by this man Bijou. Bijou is a underling who works for a much higher powerful crime lord who also was the boss of Tama. He's like the guy who was the main antagonist of the first movie. He was also Andy's boss, and because Andy betrayed Tama, Bijou had him killed, and Rama gets the news of Andy's death after his meeting with a man who works for internal affairs. Internal affairs are the people, a division in the police department, who investigate crooked or corrupt cops. And after treating Rama's comrade and killing the police captain, who was a rat, and he sold out the police department with the crime lord Tama from the first movie, Rama gets the news that Andy's been killed, and he takes up the offer by this internal affairs agent to go undercover for several crime bosses, one of who is a politician who goes by the name Bang Noon. I think that's his name. And in order to get Bang Noon's trust and to become a part of his organization, so he may find evidence and proof that points to him being this corrupt politician, he has to get close with his son. And his son is Ucho, and Ucho is being held captive in a prison facility. And Rama has to get himself convicted, which means he has to leave his beloved wife and his little boy, and he has to spend several years in prison, where initially he was supposed to spend 3 months. And he spent so many years in prison, about 5 years exactly, fighting and getting the trust of Ucho after he saved his life from a prison riot. And this was a pretty big riot. I mean, there are so many fight scenes in the film which is just so out there and just so insane and damn awesome. The prison riot being one of them. And he gets the trust of Ucho, and thus he also gets the trust of Ucho's father, Bagnoon. And Bagnoon makes Rama promise him to watch out for his son, because Ucho is a very ambitious young man who has this fire inside him, and he has this hunger to become bigger and to expand, just like his father before him. But unlike his father, Ucho doesn't know how to control that fire, and his father fears that at some point he's going to bring him down, he's going to bring the organization down, and he's going to bring his legacy down. And that's why he wants Rama to watch out for him, and should anything come up or Ucho begins to act against his orders, he is to report to him immediately. At the same time, Rama's trying to find whatever evidence he can so that they can convict Ucho, his father, as well as his associate Riza. And there's this other man, Bijou, who I mentioned before, who shot Andy. Bijou is trying to start a business deal with the Japanese mafia, or the Yakuza, who is run by Mr. Goto and his son. Mr. Goto has a territory in Indonesia, I believe Jakarta, and he and Bagnoon have a deal, a truce, which has lasted for I believe 10 years. And this truce becomes broken when Ucho acts on his own accord, and Rama gets entangled in this web of conspiracies, and his life is put on the line line after the gang members of Bijou go after him, and the only way out for Rama, as Ika says, Ika being the right-hand man of Bagnoon, is to put them all down. And this becomes a final battle for Rama as he tries to get out of this whole mess that he's in, a mess that was caused by Ucho. Now the raid Berandal has 3 acts. The first act takes place in the prison facility, and it focuses on Rama earning the trust of Ucho, eventually the trust of his father Bagnoon. And the second act focuses on their criminal activity. And the third act becomes a more action-oriented story where Rama takes on Bijou's men, including three specific underlings, and they are a man who carries a baseball bat. I'll call him Bat Guy. And you also have who I believe is his sister, who is a Hammer Girl. That's what she's called in the credit, Hammer Girl, and she wields dual hammers. No surprise there. And you have this third guy who carries these dual hook blade type things. These 3 enforcers are to ensure that full control goes to Bijou as well as Ucho. And near the end of the story, Rama comes face to face with each one of them. And man, guys, the action is so insane. I mentioned how awesome the prison riot was, but there's also a huge car chase near the end of the movie involving Ika and Rama. That car chase scene is just so awesome to watch, and it's quite a spectacle to behold. And you also get like the 2 fight scenes, the standout fight scenes, and my personal favorite, between Rama and Hammer Girl and the baseball guy. That fight was so intense and just so much fun to watch. I mean, I love seeing how Rama takes on Hammer Girl and Bad Guy, and man, that was so much fun to watch. But the fight gets even better when Rama comes face to face with his final opponent, that being the guy with the dual hook blades. Their fight takes place in a kitchen, and man, guys, I have seen many action movies in my life, and this action sequence right here between Rama and this guy, it is probably, hands down, my favorite action set piece of all time. I mean, this fight wasn't just hard-hitting, it wasn't just bloody as hell, but man, it was just so epic. I mean, this fight really has everything that I look for in an action movie, and it has everything I believe you guys and gals look for in a real badass action movie, especially when you have a badass protagonist in Rama, and he's played so well by the future star himself, Iko Uwe, the next Bruce Lee. Oh yeah, baby! If you guys are a fan of comic book superheroes, specifically the X-Men and the encounter between Sabretooth and Wolverine in the comics, not the live-action films, no. The live-action X-Men films had a decent fight between Wolverine and Sabretooth, and the reason why I mentioned those two in comic book movies or comic book stories is because this fight between Rama and the guy with the dual blades, it has everything we wanted in a Sabretooth versus Wolverine battle. It's bloody, it's intense, it's hard-hitting, and man, the emotions and the rage coming out of these two, it's just so real, so raw, and friggin' awesome, man. I mean, why couldn't Wolverine and Sabretooth, their fight in those live-action movies, be like this? And I'm looking at you, X-Men Origins Wolverine, I'm looking at you, brother, you failed, how could you? I could praise this fight sequence all day long, but just like all the other fights in the movie, and like the story, and like the awesome protagonist we have in Rama, and like the other great supporting characters in Ucho, even though he's a spoiled scumbag, and his father Bagnoon and Ika, everything about this film is just so good, guys. I mean, I praised The Raid as being one of the best action movies ever made, along with The Raid Berandal. The Raid Berandal, however, I feel safe to say that this is by far the best action movie ever made. I mean, guys, every time the action happened, it got my blood pumping, and when there wasn't any action, I was intrigued by the story, I was invested in the characters of Rama, Ucho, and everyone else in the movie. And we also have a supporting character in this man, Kuso, or Koso. He is played by the same guy who played the Mad Dog in the first movie, The Raid Redemption. He's basically the same character, but with a different personality, and he he also has a family he cares about, a wife who no longer loves him, and he wishes to see his son Kareem. And it's just kind of sad, his subplot in the movie. The Raid Berandal has just about everything I want in a good film, a good action film. It has a great story, it has great characters, amazing action sequences, and the blood and the violence is just so good, man. By now you guys can imagine how much of a fanboy I am of action movies, especially martial arts film, and definitely martial arts film from Indonesia. After reviewing Berandal, The Raid Redemption, and now The Raid Berandal, I feel so happy, guys. I mean, I am just so excited to see another martial arts film, hell, a drama release from Indonesia, and all of these Southeast Asian countries, whether be it Vietnam or like Singapore or like Thailand. It doesn't matter at all, because Southeast Asia are taking the Hollywood scene by storm, and I guarantee you we're gonna have more up and coming stars like Iko Uwais, the next Bruce Lee. Oh yeah! If Gareth Evans and the producers are planning a Raid 3, I'm more than happy to see it, but in my honest opinion, I don't think it needs one. And the Raid Berandal is just a perfect action movie, a good like drama. It's like a great crime thriller. The Raid Berandal really is the ultimate action movie, and it's one that will catapult Iko Uwais in the mainstream Hollywood scene, and I hope to God to see him in another movie, because he is that awesome. And guys, you know, honestly, I can't say much about this movie and how much I love it, but please do check it out. Please check out The Raid Berandal. It is by far Gareth Evans' masterpiece, and it's by far the best action movie ever made. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe if you wish, and check out my gaming channel where I do Let's Play series, gaming content, all kind of good stuff. And check out my review on The Raid Redemption. Please do. Until next time, peace out, take care, adios amigos, au revoir, and sayonara.